Daniel hasn't held his daughter's hand in 10 years. The surgery that changes that takes 90 minutes, and the chip is the size of a coin. 30 days later, he thinks the word close, and his hand obeys. By 2029, there's a waiting list. Then one morning, an update notice appears where his hand used to answer. What happens when your own hands come with the terms of service? Daniel hasn't held his daughter's hand in 10 years, not since the crash on the interstate 2 weeks after her second birthday. He can feel her hand in his. He just can't close his fingers around it. The signal leaves his brain, reaches the break in his spine, and stops. For 10 years, that was the end of the story. In the spring of 2029, it became the beginning of one. Because tomorrow morning, a surgeon is going to place something the size of a coin on the surface of Daniel's brain. And it's not an experiment. It's a prescription. This didn't start in 2029. It started on July 13, 2026, in Shanghai, when a hospital performed the first brain-computer implant that wasn't a trial, not a study, a product approved, prescribed, and covered by insurance. The device was almost humble, 8 electrodes, no wires through brain tissue. It sat on the surface and listened. In the trials, 36 patients learned to grasp objects by thinking. Most were using it at home, on their own, within a month. 3 years later, the procedure has a name people recognize the way they recognize LASIK. Daniel's surgery takes 90 minutes. Nothing penetrates the brain. The disc rests above it, reading faint electrical weather through the membrane. He's home in 3 days. The scar is smaller than his watch band. Then comes the boring miracle: practice. Every morning, Daniel puts on a white robotic glove and thinks about closing his hand. The chip listens for the shape of that thought. For 2 weeks, nothing. The glove twitches like a bad radio signal. Ria, his neural coach, keeps telling him the same thing. The signal is there. The chip just has to learn his accent. Day 19. He thinks the word close, and his fingers wrap around a plastic cup. He does it 11 more times before he lets himself cry. A month in, he picks up an egg without breaking it. 6 weeks in, he holds a pen. And on a Tuesday in June at the kitchen table, Maya slides her hand into his, and this time slowly, deliberately, his fingers close around hers. 10 years, undone by a thought. Daniel is not rare. That's the point of 2029. Millions of people's hands went quiet after a spinal injury or a stroke. The day implants became products, they became patients with an option. Clinics run waiting lists. Insurers argue, then pay. A working hand costs less than a decade of care. You see it in small ways. A man at the coffee shop whose grip has a faint whir. A grandmother relearning to write birthday cards. Physical therapists retraining as neural coaches. None of it looks like science fiction. It looks like Tuesday. That's how the future actually arrives. Then one morning in September, Daniel's wrist unit glows amber. Scheduled firmware update. Your device will be briefly unavailable. Briefly. For 40 minutes, the thought close goes nowhere. His hand is his own again, which is to say, still. It passes. Everything comes back better. Smoother grip, finer control. But Daniel sits with a new kind of knowledge. His hand runs on software. Software has a company behind it. The company has servers, terms of service, and a subscription tier called Advanced Dexterity. The signals his brain makes, the private electrical weather of intention, now travel through hardware someone else maintains. No one took anything from him. Everyone involved gave him his hand back. And still, somewhere, there is a settings page for a part of Daniel's body. So, what happens when your hands come with a terms of service? Daniel's answer is simpler than the internet's. He closes them. Around a coffee mug, around a steering wheel, adapted but his. Around his daughter's hand at the kitchen table, any evening he likes. Both things are true. The chip is a promise and a dependency. It gives back what was lost, and it asks for trust in return, in engineers, in regulators, in a company still writing its rules. In 2026, the first commercial brain implant was placed in Shanghai. The distance between that operating room and Daniel's kitchen table is 3 years. We are already walking it.